Hello, this is Andrew Kahn, and I'm the director of the Peaceful Presence Yoga Studio in Cedarhurst, New York. And I'd like to take 5 minutes. I'll limit myself to 5 minutes in this video, and I'd like to cover the topic breaking an addiction. So I don't have any notes on this at the moment, so I'm just going to speak off the top of my mind, but I do have a lifetime of experience, and I have broken an addiction myself. Mine was a addiction that's very primal. It is a food addiction, but please don't dismiss it. It's actually a very serious addiction. As a matter of fact, our country perhaps suffers more from people who are struggling with food today than alcohol, drugs, gambling, and other addictions that sometimes can be much more dramatic. But addiction is addiction, and I just want to share not only how I broke through, but how I believe many people, many people have and are breaking through. And there's no fee for this video. The goal is to be as helpful as possible. People freely helped me, and I want to share freely. So here goes. I don't know what addiction you or your loved one are struggling with, but in my thinking, it really doesn't, the approach is the same. So, how do you break an addiction? Okay. There are many ways that I could talk about this, and I do want to say that there are some very supportive programs, like the 12-step programs. I think are extremely supportive, and I think that many religious practices are very supportive too. Yoga can be very supportive, and I've actually received from all of the above. Though I would say that my own recovery program was critical. I don't think without it, the other things that I had in place would not have done the trick. So this is how it works, and I'm not saying that this is the only way it can work, but this is the way it worked for me and a lot of other people. And it's basically, a lot of people worship a substance like it's a god. They turn to it because of all kinds of, loneliness, tired, angry. So they go to their substance. In my case, I went to food, and I kept going to it because that's all I knew. And eventually, I had to get in touch with a new higher power. I had to get in touch with, and I call that higher power God, and now the challenge is to deepen the connection to it. And to do that, I use a lot of things: nature, meditation, journaling, going to supportive recovery meetings, meditating, doing yoga. Sorry if I'm repeating myself. But it's all about deepening the relationship and being very clear about what my addiction is, and putting clear limits so that I don't fall back into it, I don't slip back into it, and not trying to do it myself. I have to realize that it's a battle, it's a war. Someone who fights a war by themselves is pretty much a fool. I mean, most people will think of that person as a fool. You need an army. You don't fight a battle by yourself. So there are sponsors and books, and journaling, and there are systems like the 12 steps but also there are systems in place in religion that can be very useful. But to break an addiction, it's necessary to have, I think, a relationship with God. That's well, I won't say it may not be essential for everyone, but many people that approach works, and it worked for me. I'm over 5 minutes, and I've been learning to keep to my word, so I better wrap it up here. Thank you for listening, and let me know if you'd like more of the same, and if there's any topics you'd like me to cover.